I think the first thing you should do as a director when you start working on a new piece is to fall in love with the piece. You have to get to know the characters and deal with their problems. It's almost like you're moving in with them and share their world, inhabit it. But my greatest source of inspiration has always been the music, because sometimes the music is actually an interpretation or a comment on a plot that is something else by itself. And most of the time you find somewhere in the piece a key where the music and the words meet in perfect harmony, and that will open the door to the inner journey of research that begins. At first, when you take a look at the plot of Die Entführung, you get a feeling that it's quite dated, very much a product of its time. Those kind of stories were very popular in Mozart's day. You know, a woman who gets kidnapped and locked up in a harem and then rescued by her lover. But the closer you look at it, the more you realize that we're still very interested in these kind of stories. So the moment that the idea of having James Bond as a kind of frame or backdrop to the production was clear, then the costume designer and the set designer started to work on research from the 60s. And that included the design of furniture, the design of clothes, obviously, and as we know from the films, there are a lot of gadgets, so also the props are very specific from the 60s, and also some that we will recognize and some that are our own inventions. Obviously, we also have a lot of women because it's a harem, so we have some extras and there's a lot of action going on. A lot of fights, so we have a few guys from Viet Vo Dao. It's a Vietnamese martial art that actually fits very well into the music and the plot. And we're working a lot physically, I can say, not just these martial arts people, but also the soloists. And this is something that I always like to do, because I think that adding movement, whether it be dance, fight or acrobatics, actually completes the complex art form that opera is and adds another dimension and thus satisfies all senses.
Bonjour Belmonte, votre sac d'intervention. La montre coupe-gorge, les grenades à double détonation, 2 fois, le grappin, 2 franchissements de mur et une fois sur intervention, la bouteille de champagne. C'est la classe comme d'habitude.